In MS Project, if you open that, this will be the visible display. You have to click a blank project. When you click the blank project, this will be appear. Okay, there will be a task, resources, report, project, view, and the format. So here, if you see that, you will have a Gantt chart. Generally, this will be called as a Gantt chart. Okay, so network diagram, you have resource sheet, all those things are okay. One by one, we'll go and move on. Okay, so in a Gantt, first we'll keep it as a Gantt chart. In a Gantt chart, this will be your task you have to allocate, duration of the task, start date, finish date, predecessor, everything you have to add it over here. Then here you will be getting a bar chart based on the duration. Then you will be having the timeline over here. Okay, so first before moving on to any activity, first what we do is we format the your Gantt chart as well as your project. For doing so, what we have to do is just go to your information of your file option, then file, click on the file, then click on the option. If you click on that, this will be visible on your screen. So don't change anything over here. Then move on to the display. So here the calendar type will be different based on the different countries, it will be changed. Okay, so for us we'll keep this as it is. Then generally in most of the time it will be in a dollar, so we have to keep it in INR, that is your Indian currency. We have to keep that itself. So what we use today is, if there is a change in the currency type, then bring it to the your Indian currency. Then click onto the schedule part. In a schedule part, if you see that the week start will be on the Monday, so most of the time the week start on the Monday itself, will be started in general, will keep as it is. Then start time, it depends on the work will start at what time. Generally we used to keep 8 to 5, or even it can be changed to the 9 to 6 or anything, based on your activity in a site. Okay, so the default end time will be 5 o'clock. Then hours per day, generally 8 hours per day. And here they have mentioned hours per week. So most of the time they'll consider as a 5 weeks, 5 days per week as a working days, so it will be considered as a 40. So that can be changed. So later we'll change that also. You can keep it as a, just change it to the 48. Okay, then the per week will be 24. Okay, like this you can do the changes. Then move on to this, show the assignment unit as in terms of percentage or decimal, anything you want. Generally we'll keep it in a decimal to, it will be easy to assigning of or creation of the resources. If you keep in a percentage, then when you are assigning one labor to particular activity, you have to give as 100%. If you are keeping in a decimal, then directly you can write 1 2 like that. So it's better keep in a decimal form itself. New task created will be manually schedule or auto schedule. That I'll show you what is the difference between manual and the auto schedule. For now we'll keep that this as it is. Then project start date, current date, that you can keep it, right? So current date will be your start date of the project, or you have to mention that. We'll keep as it is. The project start date will mention it. Duration entered in days, work entered in hours, so that will keep as it is. And this here default task type will keep it as a fixed duration. Okay, so all those things you keep as it is. Then move on to the proofing not required, save option. This is one of the important thing in a save option. So generally there will be auto save every 10 minutes. So generally it will be unchecked, so you have to check this. Because what will happen when you are doing a planning work or the use of the MS project, the hell lot of activity will be involved in that. So if you forget to save the work, then it will be completely goes off. So it's better on particular time, on every 10 minutes, 15 minutes or 20 minutes, it should get automatically saved. Okay, these are the things you have to do it. Then you have to click the okay. This is the basic things you have to do it in that. So in a calendar we have to change into the 5 days, no? So for that what we can do is just click on the project tab. If you click the project tab, here you have change working time. So generally, when you click on the change working time calendar option, then here for a calendar there will be three type of calendar. One is 24-hour calendar, night shift calendar, and the standard calendar. So 24-hour calendar is nothing but generally if there is a two shift work, day shift and the night shift, generally you can use the 24-hour calendar. If only you're working night shift, then you have to use this. If not, you have to go for the standard calendar. So you can see in the this section, this part is white color. White color is working days. This indicate that no non-working days. So we need to convert the Saturday as a working day. So what you have to do is at this level you have exceptions and the work weeks. So exception is, I'll tell you the later. Work weeks, just click on the work weeks and go to the details. In a details, if you select it, there will be your select day, on what day you have to convert into the non-working to working day. So I need to convert Saturday from non-working day to working day. So what you have to do is you select this, set days to the specific working time. So after do selecting the Saturday, just click over here and mention the timing. So I'll start the work from 8 o'clock. Then I'll give at a 12 o'clock break for the your lunch. Then at 3 at 1 o'clock again the work will resume. Then uh, uh, at 5 o'clock it will end up. Okay, so you have to do that. If you click over here, you can see the changes. So earlier it was gray, it was converted into white. So that means 5 days working, and particular day on particular week or duration, you have to keep the non-working days or exception days. So that time what you can do is just click onto the exception days. Okay, so mention whatever you have. Generally May 1 will be considered as a Labor Day, so I'll keep as a Labor Day. So that is an exception days where that day will not work it. So just click on that, and here you mention the day on which you are doing exception day, that is considered as a holiday. So I'll select this. Okay, so this will be considered as your exception days. That on that particular day you're not working. Okay, you can see that. Click on the day to see its working time. 1 May 2020 is non-working. So we have done as an exception case. Okay, so you have to click a OK to do the basic settings. Okay, so these are the basic settings you have to do it. Okay, now you have to list down the your each and individual activity. Okay, here you have to add the links. Okay, yeah, sorry, WBS, work breakdown structure. Okay, I have noted down some activity in that. So first, okay, I'll consider the task name as a project X. Okay, in a project X, what I'll do, um, civil work. So only I'll consider civil work. There will be civil work, electrical work, plumbing work, sanitation work, then the other landscaping work that you can add. So civil work is a your project X is your task. Your summary task will be your civil work. Then in civil works, uh, I'll keep as a substructure, superstructure, like that. Substructure. Okay. In a substructure, what are the things will be there? I have noted here. So generally there will be earthquake excavation. Then we have I listed all the things. If I type every each and individual activity, it will take time. Okay, in substructure we have earthwork excavation, PCC for the footing, reinforcement for the footing, shuttering for footing, casting of footing, pedestal shuttering, pedestal concrete, that means extended portion of your column above the footing part, shuttering for columns up to ground floor level, casting of columns up to the ground floor level, and the backfilling. These are the activity comes under the your substructure. Then next is your superstructure. So in superstructure, these are the activity I have listed out. Okay, so ground, if you have number of floors, then it will comes your ground floor, first floor, like that. Okay, in a superstructure there will be first RCC work. So I'll mention here RCC work. Okay, in RCC work, what are the activity? These are the activity. Okay, okay. So first everything I'll copy here, then I'll move on to that. So RCC work, then the finishing work. Your finishing work, In finishing work, we have the machinery, electric converting, all those things, so till the handover. Okay, so I'll post paste it over. Okay, these are the activity comes under the project X. Okay, so if you select it over here, task mode, which indicate that uh, if this is your the pin shows that it's a manually schedule. Manually schedule is nothing but you have not linked each and individual activity. If I go to the auto schedule, what difference you will find it, you can see that if you select it. Okay, I'll first select all the activity. Okay, select all the activity. If I do it auto schedule, what will happen, it will get linked up. Okay, so start date will be from the current date, 25. So default it will take all the activity per day and it will get linked to the individual activity, and you can say on same date everything will be completed. So this is your work breakdown structure. You have specified all the activity in a or schedule the all the activity. Now you have to make the or give the duration, start date, finish date, and the predecessor. I'll tell you what is predecessor and all that. Okay, so first is all the activity we have noted in a single tab or single line, which indicate that the main task itself. We need to break down to a summary task and the subtask. So I can say that the project X is a main task. So what you can do is you select remaining except your project X and keep the all select all the tasks. So then go to the here if you select this indent task, so that means all this work comes under the project X. If I do it, so if I do it, you can see that. Okay, in a project X all the work will come under. Okay, so that you have to do. Now the civil work uh, is your again one task. So again, except your civil work, select all those works and again go to the indent. Okay, that means under the civil work these are the things. In a civil work, then there's a substructure is a summary task, then your superstructure. So I'll select the things or the activity comes under the superstructure and indent into the superstructure. You can see that. Okay, substructure, again in the superstructure I'll select the all the terms. Okay, and bring into the. Okay, I'll select the except superstructure. I'll select all because finishing work and the RCC will come under the superstructure cell. Okay, that all those things will come under the superstructure. Now in RCC work, again I'll indent. So these are the things comes under the RCC work, and these are the things comes under the your finishing work. Okay, so if you see that, if I just click on the substructure superstructure, then substructure. Okay, so there's a project task, then project X we have a civil work. In civil work we have substructure and superstructure. In the substructure these are the different activity. In a superstructure again we have RCC work. Okay, every 10 minutes it will ask. Okay, so finishing work, these are the activity. Okay, then handover, these are the activity comes under that. Okay, this is your summary task, then this is your subtask, this is your summary task, and these are the your subtasks. Okay, so like this you have to do. For example, mistakenly you have taken the finishing work also in a same line. Okay, I'll show. You have done indent in the RCC work itself about the finishing work. That time what you can do is you have to take out to back to that. So that can be done by outdent task. Okay, that can be done. Just click the term which you want to outdent. Just click on this. So it will get back to this. So like this you can indent and the outdent work can be done. Okay, like this you can do it. So like this, you can indent and outdent the activity based on its whether it is a subtask or summary task or a main task. Like that, you can do it. Okay, I got the concept of your auto schedule in this. Now the part of duration, how much duration I have to allocate. So as I've told you in the theory part, when you are calculating their duration for a particular work, it depends on the available resource. One day with the GCB and all that we can do it. So that's PCC or footing. PCC I'll take one day to complete. Then reinforcement of footings I'll take 2 days. In 2 days, generally I'll considering the will be in the what you can say, a small set. If you go for the large side, the quantum of work is huge, then that time it will be different. Okay. And one more thing, we have done the auto schedule, but we have not done the linking. So the linking is very much important. If you're not linked, then all the activity will be start on the same day itself. If you linked all the scheduled activity, then it will move on. You can see the difference. Okay. So here this option of your linking the selected task. So what I'll do, I'll just select all and bring it to the linked. If I do that, you can see that. So first this work, then after this work, then after completion of this work, there's a next work, like that it will move on. So okay, if it I do unlink, then again the all the activity will start the same day. So first is you have to do it work breakdown structure, list the activity, then go for the auto schedule, then link the activity, then go for the indent or the outdent of the work. Okay. Or vice versa, you can do it. Okay, like this you have to do it. So I'll link the all the activity first. Okay, this is the things. Okay, so excavation 1 day, PCC 1 day, reinforcement for the footing 2 days I'll require. For the shuttering of footing I'll take 1 day, casting of footing I'll take 1 day, then pedestal of footing I'll take 2 days, pedestal concreting 2 days, shuttering for complete column I'll take 1 day, casting of column I'll take 3 days to complete, backfilling I'll take 2 days. Okay, these are the duration. Randomly I'm taking the number, the but number has to be taken based on the calculation what I have shown you in the theory part. Like by taking the example of your shutting of 2500 square meter based on the available resources, you have to calculate. Okay, PCC. So for the flooring, I'll take 3 days to complete. Reinforcement of column, I'll take 2 days. Shuttering for column, I'll take 2 days. Casting of column, I'll take 3 days. Roof beam slab, I'll take 5 days. Roof beam slab concreting, I'll take your that is reinforcement, and this is your shuttering. Okay, shuttering 5 days, then reinforcement of slab I'll take 3 days. The casting will be I'll take 1 day. Then come to the finishing part. So if you see that as I increase the date, the bar chart also get increased, or there's a variation in that. Okay, you can see that. Okay, these are the things will be getting changed. Okay, I'll tell you the difference of your all those things. There's a predecessor, resource name, and all those things. So I'll tell you what is predecessor. First, we'll give the duration for all the activity. Okay, so block masonry, I'll take around 10 days to complete. Then electric conduiting 2 days. Rough plastering, I'll take 2 days. GI work for the toilet and all that, I'll take 2 days. Okay, a first coat of waterproofing for a toilet, I'll take 1 day. PVC work for the kitchen, I'll take 1 day. Brick bat filling and screen concrete, I'll take 1 day. Internal wall plastering, I'll take 5 days. Diodoring for toilet, I'll take 3 days. For balcony and flooring, I'll take 2 days. Vitrified flooring for whole building, I'll take 5 days. Primer coat for internal walls, I can take as 3 days. Putty and internal walls, I'll take 2 days. Fixing of door and doors, I'll take 2 days. Coat of first paint, I'll take 5 days. Electrical wiring, I'll take 5 days, or I can take 2 days. 2 days is sufficient to do that. Sanitary fixture, I'll take 1 day. Internal coat of internal painting, I'll take again 3 days. I'll take it. Handover on the last date. Okay, I'll keep handovering part. Okay, so these are the duration will give. Start date will be 20. So for 1 day means 20 itself it will get completed. Okay, next day start will be on 21. 21 it will be completed. So this is your bar chart, you can see that. Okay, so this indicate that your one summary task, then next summary task will be this. Okay, like this it will be shown in the bar chart. Okay, so then predecessors is nothing but I'll show you the theory part. So what is successor and the predecessor? So predecessor and the successor is nothing but for a particular task to perform, it needs some initial initiation to proceed with the work as defined. As a task has a well defined start and end date, the start and end date will be entirely depend on the preceding task and its performance. Predecessors are nothing but the preceding task or the tasks which make the dependent of following task to perform with its fixed duration. Successor is vice versa. That are the tasks which follow or receive the command from the performing task to proceed with the specified work. For example, for example, uh, you can say uh, earthwork excavation. Uh, uh, Here itself I'll show you. See, your particular for example, there are two tasks which is performed, namely excavation of footing and the PCC for the footing. So unless and until completion of excavation of a footing, you cannot go for the your PCC for the footing. Okay. So after the completion of your excavation itself, you have to go for the your PCC work. So for this, the PCC work, excavation of footing is called as a predecessor, and for the excavation, the PCC work will be successor. After completion of your excavation itself, you go for the PCC work, that is your successor. Or you can say in the other words, unless and until the excavation is completed, the PCC will not be started. Or immediately after the completion of the PCC excavation, PCC will be started. So PCC work will be successor for the excavation of footing, and the PCC PCC for the PCC work, excavation will be predecessor. Unless and until excavation completed, the PCC will not be started. Like this, these are the terms of predecessor and the successor. And there will be intent dependency. Generally, intent dependency can be of finish to task, finish to finish, start to start, and start to finish. So generally, this will help you to effectively schedule all those things. Okay, finish to start is nothing but uh, uh, the first activity has to be finished, then the second activity can be started. So finish to finish is nothing but both the activity will finish at the same time. Start to start is nothing but both the activity will start simultaneously. Start to finish, unless and until you can start one activity, other activity will not be finished. These are the interdependency. We'll just read out all those things. Finish to start, until unless the first task is completed, the second task cannot be taken up. Finish to finish in that bit, second task will be completed along with the completion of first task. So start to start, the second task will be also started along with the commencement of first task. So that will be the start to start. Start to finish, the first task will start when the second task is completed. So this is the your interdependency. So when we are giving the your predecessor, it will be very important to give the your interdependency. So I'll show you what is interdependency, how it will be allocated. Okay, so see the 4 5 6 that means number of or serial number of your particular activity. So for the PCC work, for PCC footing, the fourth is predecessor. That means the fourth work has to complete it. Unless and until you will not complete this work, you cannot start it. Okay, so this I'll give 4 as it is. So reinforcement for footing. See, reinforcement of footing can start during the start of work or during the execution of work itself. So what I can do, I'll give 4 start to start. So that is nothing but even your reinforcement of footing work can start on the same day on PCC work. Okay, we'll put 4SS. That is nothing but the fourth activity as well as this activity can start at simultaneously. You can see the difference in a bar chart. Okay, this is your the reinforcement of footing and the excavation work will start on the same day. So this is the advantage of giving the interdependency. Next is shuttering of footing. The shuttering of footing cannot be started before any work. So you have to wait it unless and until your reinforcement of footing is completed. That means the sixth activity has to complete. So as it is, we keep predecessors as six. Casting of footing can be done only after the completion of shuttering of footing. That is okay. The pedestal of shuttering can be done after the completion of casting of footing. So we keep here 8. So predecessor is the pedestal complete 9, shuttering for 1 to column will be 10, 11, and 12. Okay, these are different. And one more thing, see, we need to give some buffer. You cannot start next day itself your pedestal shuttering for the casting after the casting of footing. So what we can do is here in pedestal setting 8, okay, finish to start plus will give 4 days for query. So that means you will get 4 days buffer after the completion of your casting of the day. After 4 days, you will start the next shift. So like that you can take. So the same thing for the shutting of column can be started 10 finish to start plus 4 days. So again there is a buffer like this you will take it. So like this you can get the buffer and that. Like this you can get it. Okay. So if you're giving the queuing or other things that will be in a predecessor you have to mention. So like this for each and individual activity you have to do it. So this is the your predecessor's task. So next is allocation of the resources that I'll explain in the next video. Thank you.